Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Wanted to give a company update here for quarter four. We're Humble. We're building a Web3 platform that includes mobile, wallet, search, and marketplace so that people can trade, track, and pay in new ways on Web3. The company focus for quarter four is to raise capital. So we're in the middle of a capital raise. We are working to consolidate our product lines, which I'll show you today. On what we're calling the Humble platform. And of course, a deep focus for this year and going into next on revenue. We've got to drive organic revenues from the Humble platform. So I'll show you our game plan for doing that here at Humble. Okay, so since we went public, we've launched a lot of product lines, right? We've got the Humble Pay application where you can send up to 20 digital assets, peer-to-peer, USDC, et cetera, in the Humble Pay application. We have the Humble Wallet, which I encourage everybody to download. That's a 4.8 star product line that has a lot of Web3 attributes that we think meet or exceed other products in the market. So please download and check out the Humble Wallet product on your app stores. We've got the Humble Search Engine, which has Search 3, which has crypto added features across contract, token, ID, et cetera. For Ethereum, blocks, Solana, Polygon, Gnosis. So crypto-enabled search functionality. We have the Humble Marketplace and NFT Gallery, which enables you to list and sell NFTs. We, of course, have Humble Tickets proper in terms of our secondary ticketing market, but then also we own a subsidiary called Tickery, which is one of the premier providers of Latin American ticketing here in the United States. And then recently we launched a brand metaverse store with Major League Baseball family, Charlie Hayes and Brian Hayes, which had some firsts in there for the metaverse. We had a press amphitheater for Brian, an NFT garden, a Franklin environment for his batting gloves, Wilson for his catching glove, and Old Hickory for his bat. And so on. So really cool, robust metaverse store environment with full avatar functionality. So run, stand, sit, walk, jump. So pretty cool. And we'll continue to do things in there with Brian. And we thank him for walking that journey on doing the first brand metaverse store for himself and his partners for a Major League Baseball player. So pretty cool. So you have this sort of suite of Web3 products that we've launched here since going public. But then wanted to give you a view of how we're going to stitch all these together in what we're calling the Humble platform. So hopefully when you see this, it gives a sigh of relief where you say, I think when you respond individually to these individual product lines, it may have been hard for some of our customers or shareholders to envision how this is all going to stitch together on an ecosystem. So what really I think is going to be formative for our company in this next chapter is consolidating all of this. We're very fortunate to get the humble.com domain name, I believe earlier this calendar year. So we're in a position now where we can roll out the humble.com platform and suite of products on top of that in a consolidated way. So our goal at Humble as a thesis is that Web3 is going to have these digital wallets where you start to trade, spend, track, store much of your digital life, and those will sit on top of a decentralized or blockchain verified Web3. So how that looks is our company thesis is that you will move into a digital wallet format, either now or in the future, we hope now, in which you begin to store and use multiple assets. So multiple assets, but then also NFTs. Which can be for much more than just art or sport. So you'll start to have these tokenized items that live inside this wallet to include verifiable credentials or decentralized identifiers that will then enable you to communicate in much more lock to key ways with your peers, with corporations, and with government in a way that will reduce middlemen, reduce fees, reduce friction through these blockchain verified transactions. So verifying these transactions on blockchain, sending USDC peer-to-peer in the HUMBL Pay application, buying a product that comes with more than just a receipt, rather now a certificate of authenticity and an NFT that gives you lifetime tracking of the item or some kind of unlock with the brand from whom you purchased it. So you see Starbucks and Nike starting to do really cool things there. And then from a government side, we continue to make progress, for example, with the County of Santa Cruz on developing an application that would unlock some of these features as well. So we're excited to be on the front end of that level of innovation here at HUMBL. So we are building this Web3 thesis for you to begin to use here on the HUMBL, the consolidated HUMBL platform. And of course, all of this is then captured on the decentralized blockchain. So verified by blocks, the blocks registry, where you start to have decentralized equitable access to information that we believe can be transposed not only here in the United States, but globally to other markets where things like land or title can be better categorized for all of us, even here in the United States, where government arbitrated information or peer-to-peer information, I sold you this, this product has had this life cycle. You can really start to trade and track and pay and have smart contracts on top of these decentralized registries that will essentially categorize all this information in a decentralized way so that it's accessible to all of us and creates more authenticated levels of trade between all of us. So the core technology stack that we're using, our vision at HUMBL has always been to have a consumer products company, a for-profit public company that then sits on these decentralized blockchain layers. An example of which is verified by blocks. So you start to see items now that we're pushing out, whether they're digital items or physical items that are then verified by blocks and then categorized on a blocks registry. So part of the thesis of blockchain is creating these immutable decentralized ledgers that people can consult to make sure that they're buying or receiving something that's been verified and cataloged in a tamper-proof way by a non-centralized entity that is blockchain. So that's the thesis of Web3, is taking this wallet product or your personal identity or your personal assets and sitting them on top of new decentralized rail systems that are not arbitrated by big technology companies and that have potential applications for reduced fees, reduced friction, reduced middlemen, and more autonomy for you as you conduct your transactions in Web3. So the way we will build this out, and again, please note that I'm going to show you some mock-ups today that will not be ready on day one. Our intent is to launch the humble.com platform before the holiday season at the end of December. But please note that some of the mock-ups that I show you today are to communicate the vision of the business and the direction of the company in a consolidated way with the HUMBL wallet and the humble.com platform. So please don't interpret these as exact replications of what you will see in version 1 here going into the holiday. But I wanted to give you a vision of what we are going to be building here at HUMBL, and that is already underway behind the scenes for its first launch before holiday season. So again, we communicate to you the thesis that Web3 will be decentralized rail systems where you're still driving revenue through peer listings, advertising, trade, sales, but it's overlaid by a wallet that gives you more control of what you're doing, a non-arbitrated wallet, a decentralized wallet that gives you more control of your digital life as we move to entirely digital economies here in the United States and in many countries abroad as well. So again, the core thesis being, hey, here's your wallet. You can trade and track and store and do things in there on the digital economy that we believe will touch everything ranging from payments to land to title to vital records that you see some stuff popping up there in California government in a great way. So again, this is sort of your breadcrumb portal to entering Web3 and having more autonomous control of the things you do with peers, with corporations, and with government in the digital age. We will be building out the ability for you to have a profile. So we want to include more social items. We have about, at last count, 150,000 shareholders or so here at Humble, and of course, many thousands of customers that are not shareholders. So what we want to do is create stickier features for humble.com and the Humble wallet. We've done all this bleeding edge stuff in Web3, but we really want to bring back to center mass some of our product lines so that we can start to do kind of stuff where that meet the market a bit more. We've been really out there on the innovation layer with the metaverse and the wallet and NFT programs with universities and so on, which I'm very proud of. And I believe we've set a great tone for Web3 as being consumer products on top of decentralized blockchain rails. But we also need to bring humble.com back to center mass to make sure that we're meeting the market where it lives today as we move from Web 2 to Web 3 now and in the coming years. But a lot of our stuff is going to be architected to right now environments so that we can capture customers and walk that journey with you into Web 3. So here we will set up the user profile. And again, guys, these are mock-ups. So some of this will change. So please, just know that we're showing you directional stuff. Some of it will change over time, but functionality wise, this is our vision, is to have a wallet connected to a user profile where you can then do peer trade, corporate engagements, and government activities. So you set up your profile, you connect your Web3 items, your socials. We will start to build in some chat and payment functionality. So, right now on the Humble Pay app, you can, send USDC peer-to-peer, for example, or other digital assets, Bitcoin, et cetera. So we will be building out on the humble.com platform the ability for you to have encrypted chat or communications on our what we call Mail 3, and then certainly have some payment functionality as well as an overlay on top of the humble.com platform. So again, social payments, chat, et cetera. We want you to have the ability to engage with other Humble users on the social network. So we'll start to have things like user profiles that if you're a seller, for example, which almost all of us are now in the gig economy in some way, you'll start to attribute some kind of scorecard to yourself. If you're a seller, you sold something to a peer, a trading card, a watch, a pair of collectible sneakers, some bigger parcel. We will then have a scorecard for you to be able to do that if you want it, if you want to make yourself known and you want to engage in more verified peer trade than today's Web 2 marketplaces, which can be very murky. So that's what we'll build out and offer you the step up features if you want to start engaging in more peer trade, peer listings, et cetera. Just from a market perspective, you have Google that does about 100 billion a year in advertising sales. Craigslist is over $1 billion a year in peer trade and peer listings. So there's really good total addressable market in terms of the human appetite to discover things online, click in on advertising or click in on peer listings. And we think that Humble can help take people north into expecting verified items from verified sellers on blockchain. So verifying your profile on blockchain, verifying our listings on blockchain. And of course, there's many applications then that come out of that, whether it's verified voting, verified vital records, et cetera, that give you that handshake capability across private, semi-private, and public registries, as well as your verifiable credential, your digital identifiers, universal resolvers, et cetera. So as we get into this really exciting Web3 framework, we believe that we can create commerce that steps up from the Web 2 marketplaces that have been amazing success stories, but that still suffer from fake products, fake ratings, fake reviews, peer trade that may not be validated, right? You go on something like Craigslist, respectfully, because it's an amazing marketplace. But I mean, who am I buying from? Am I meeting them on the corner to buy a ticket or buy some sneakers? We don't know. So we really think that Web3 can be a nice step up for people that want to disclose who they are in the gig economy or the peer trade environments as marketplaces become more articulate on blockchain for verification and decentralized tracking. And then, of course, what's exciting about decentralized registries is once you sell a good, if you verify it and catalog it on a decentralized registry, that's an immutable blockchain ledger that people can then consult and say, yeah, I sold that item to that person on this date, and the entitlements they received were this, and it improved my seller rating, or I granted them this intellectual property ability through this blocks registry. So exciting implications not only for the trade of goods or the selling and listing of goods, but also the lifetime cataloging of both digital and physical assets on these decentralized registries like the blocks registry. So world's decentralized databases will emerge where you can consult peer trade in a way that's still not being arbitrated by a centralized entity. Humble tickets will have applications here right now. Again, these are all bifurcated experiences on the Humble ecosystem. So consolidating the product line so that we can drive revenues and give you a more intelligent customer funnel. So we'll really get you into the funnel and hopefully give you a good price on a good product that keeps you coming back here at humble.com. So we'll integrate things like Humble tickets. You've seen already that we've been active on M&A and ticketing with our acquisition of Tickery. So of course, each one of these verticals will give rise to potential M&A for Humble as well, where if we start to want to be the store brand in that vertical, we'll have a look at it. So again, another one of our subsidiaries is Monster, which cranks out a lot of these cool movie trailers and some creative for some of the studios. So we're very proud of that. So you can start to see here what potentially could have been interpreted as an ecosystem that wasn't quite stitched together yet. Hopefully this is giving you a view of why we've taken the chess moves that we have to consolidate Humble here at humble.com with the wallet on top of the Web3 Petri dish here on blockchain. So we'll weave in the ticketing piece, we'll weave in the entertainment piece. This is stuff, guys, I want to put riders on this. This is not all how it's going to look going into the holiday season. We're just giving you a vision of how we are building out what we are doing. So we do envision giving you the ability over time to find merchants. Hopefully we can connect those merchants into things like Humble Delivery, our partners at Humble Delivery, and the Humble Pay or Humble Wallet checkout modules. Certainly we'll be bringing in news as well. I'm a big believer in decentralization, so I don't believe in having any kind of politically curated stance on the platform. I also would never try to arbitrate what free speech looks like to you guys as well. So we want to have a very open platform that brings in stuff that you're interested in seeing and doesn't try to curate or leverage some kind of view like you've seen with big tech or other providers that have maybe bumped into trying to curate your view too much one way or the other. So that's not how Humble's built. We're an apolitical company. We'll also try to drive revenues, but fair prices, but revenues for you guys on, travel bookings, travel research, advertisements, et cetera. So the big things we need to do are build out the tech. We've got the product and design, we've got tech coding away on this stuff, and then sales and revenue. We've got to hit the revenue piece really hard here organically. So we're hoping that next year is the big focus will be on organic revenues. That's really what we've decided on here with humble.com. Real estate, we have good relationships around the world, so we'll be leaning into our partners on the ground in Oceania, Latin America, Africa, who can coach us on what their markets look like so that we can route you on the Humble platform, humble.com, over time into different markets so that you say, okay, I found what I needed to see in that market by way of travel bookings, hotels, real estate, investment opportunities that gave me more comfort because they were verified on blockchain by verified blockchain profiles, verified blockchain transactions, or verified blockchain registries that give you the confidence to do inbound trade to other markets. Lastly, I would want to show you guys here the Humble Pro client, which I'm so excited about this product line in terms of just the pride of thinking through what Web3 can look like for vendors. So you think about someone like Brian Hayes, okay? He's a Humble ambassador. He has done some really cool work with us in Web3 so far. And we thank him and the Ballingy group for being up for that, and his dad, Charlie. It's really fun when we get a client that says, let's go for it. Let's step into Web3. Let's see what we can do with the wallet and the NFTs and the metaverse stores and the authenticated merchandise. That's a dream for us. And he's been with us every step of the way. So you take a guy like Brian, highest paid Major League Baseball or player in Pittsburgh Pirates history, who has Major League Baseball, right? He's got a lot of cool stuff going on with Franklin and Wilson and Old Hickory and some things. Right now, his technological presence is determined by Web2 centralized entities, meaning like Google has a lot of control about how you're portrayed, or they pull in Wikipedia or other marketplaces sending out to Dick's Sporting Goods or eBay or Ticketmaster. So there's still not a lot of control, equity-based control that the athletes get or that these personal brands get. You take a 9-figure personal brand like Brian, these guys are starting to think through on Web3. Wait a second, I can create wallet-to-wallet connections with my fans where I can have equity-driven interest in the sales of my brands, the sales of my tickets, the sales of my NFTs, etc. So with Humble Pro, what we are building is the ability for personal brands, merchants, corporate vendors, the ability for them to step into Web3 and start to manage their lifetime engagement. So for a player, that means lifetime earnings, right? They're starting these guys in high school now. So we have wonderful men and women in the sports arena that we're working with at Humble to give us coaching on what they want or what their agents want, their sports agents want, to be able to better manage that 9-figure brand, right? These guys are personal brands that are the size of corporations. So what we are building at Humble Pro is what I believe is the strongest and most thoughtful Web3 CRM, customer relationship management tool online. So it's a Web3 CRM where you start to think about, okay, I'm going to publish my content on humble.com to drive revenues for jerseys, authenticated merchandise that's verified by Blocks and cataloged on the Blocks registry. I'm going to launch this NFT collection as he did with us and Sports Artist of the Year, Lauren Taylor. I'm going to need to distribute that or syndicate it across different platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever you're using, pick your poison. Taking that wallet and taking your Web3 monetization content and distributing it out in a way that's traceable for you. So we are building scraping environments where with Humble Pro, you'll be able to track what was posted. You'll be able to track what was commented on. You'll be able to track different engagements. So that will come out in phases, but this is what we are working on here at Humble Pro, is the ability for you to have a really nice Web3 CRM that is a step up from the seller centrals or the vendor centrals of Web2, where it was essentially tonnage plays where you're kind of managing, some things on Web2 that are still arbitrated by a centralized entity. So what we're building now is the ability for you to do a verified profile, verified blockchain transactions on a verified registry that is then syndicated across Web3. So it'll start first here at humble.com because we want the eyeballs and we want influencers like Brian to start first with Humble. But we acknowledge that other platforms like Twitter, for example, will start to think about verifying profiles or verifying commerce, verifying posts, or verifying commerce on blockchain. So it's really neat to see some of these Web2 clients starting to step into Web3 wallets and Web3 blockchain. And we want to be sympathetic to that. We think more is more on the ecosystem for Web3. So we're gladly embracing that with a confident stance and building tools that will allow you to manage your lifetime tracking as a vendor on Web3. So really cool stuff here, and things that will give rise to people having more equity in what they're listing, how they're using platforms to make peer commerce or provide merchant listings of goods and services in Web3. And then lastly, we'll have kind of the basic stuff too, where it's, hey, you want to upload a physical item, you want to verify it. Okay, you've done so. Do you want to catalog it on a blockchain registry in perpetuity? So we think this will give buyers a lot more comfort than the tonnage of Web2 marketplaces that are not tracked by decentralized blockchain at present in any large capacity. And so here's some of those exciting outcomes, right? With Brian, what we did was we launched his customized NFT collection. We launched a robust metaverse store for him, Wilson, Franklin, Old Hickory. So really proud to have served those brands in the House of Hayes. So certainly the step up into the metaverse, if that's where the modern customer wants to go, or if you're just sort of, hey, I kind of like just looking at stuff online. I like the comfort of seeing it verified and cataloged on a registry to prove with my digital certificate of authenticity that I bought it in the wallet. So beyond the receipt printer, getting something of value. So that's what we built out for Brian in the right now environment. And then we are working with his partners at BM Authentics, Brian Meltzer, who now works for us actually here at Humble, to verify some of his physical items as well, so that those can get cataloged on a decentralized registry, as well as we start to think through what these micro stores will look like on humble.com for our charter partners. So really exciting thing there for us to make revenues as a company, but also give you a fair price on some pretty cool items that are much more verified than the other guys on the marketplace. And so what you result in there is getting the customer. I know we're doing a full pull through of Cabrian to show you what 0 to 1 looks like. But this can be attributed to any form of trade, right? So as more things get verified on blockchain, whether it's vital records, bike registries, business licenses, real estate, land, title, all these things will be categorized in the tokenized economy is our thesis. And you will need a synthetic place to store those, trade, track, pay, both with your peers, but also with corporations and government. So that's where it's going. I know it can seem a little obtuse when we're just doing digital stuff with a baseball player, but it's formative because it will apply to many other categories. These fundamental applications will apply to many other categories, we believe, as more things get categorized onto decentralized databases or blockchain registries, like the Blocks registry. Lastly, we welcome some new team members or existing team members that got promoted. Nick Monker has been with us for a while. He built some really cool products for us on the ETX side. So he gives me a great sense of comfort that he can execute with his teams the technological requests that we're making of our team to get this stuff done. We're extremely confident about the Humble brand, the humble.com platform, the wallet overlay. It's a matter of, can the tech team deliver at a rapid pace these product and design elements that we've identified, and he and our team have my full confidence that they will do so. We also have brought on Brian Meltzer from BM Authentics to run sales and revenue. So his whole focus is to take those humble.com listings, whether it's tickets or authenticated merchandise, merchants, and just drive revenue. So sales, still giving you guys a fair price. The novel application of verified merchandise or services on blockchain with the blockchain registry, but driving revenues so that we can have organic revenues and grow the business in this regard. And then Luke Coleman has been doing a great job on some of the product and design thinking that you saw above in the call. So great to have these guys in the mix with us to drive revenues, create great technology products, and then really think through what your experience is like on the product and design side. So it's been great to neighbor with these guys. We're full tilt to get a version of humble.com up for you by holiday season, and then to grow the platform in the ways that were identified above, so that we can start to really serve up what we believe Web3 can look like with a wallet connected environment for you on the Humble platform. So thanks for tuning in. We're looking forward to a productive Q4, and we'll keep you posted on how progress is going. Thank you.